this video, I'll discuss about the string operations in Python. String is a sequence of characters and string literals are surrounded by either single quotation marks or double quotation marks. As you can see in the example, hello is the same as hello in single quotes is same as the hello in double quotes, and also you can assign a string to a variable with the variable name followed by an equal sign. That is a equal to double quote hello. And also you can assign a multi-line string to a variable either by using 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes. As you can see in the example, 3 double quotes hello, how are you on the next line followed by 3 double quotes again. Or the same can also be done using single quotes, 3 single quotes hello, how are you, and at the end also you have 3 single quotes. Either way you can do to assign a multi-line string to a variable. And the next is strings in Python are arrays of bytes that represents Unicode characters, and square brackets can be used to access elements of the string. Here you can see the example, that is here I have used a multi-line string, and so here triple double quotes are used at the beginning and also at the end, and when I print it, it will be printing it like this. Okay, and using single quotes, the next day Sam, we have single quotes and it will be printed as below. And the next is in order to access the characters in this string, you can use the, as I mentioned in the previous slide, square brackets can be used to access elements of the string. So in the last print, the first letter in the given string, Sam of 0, that is by default strings will have index starting with 0. So here C in coronavirus will have the index 0 and O will have 1 and so on. Okay, so in order to print the first letter in the given string, I have used here the string name, that is the variable name representing the string, that is Sam, and within square brackets specify the index of the letter. So here Sam of 0, and you can see in the output it displays C. Okay, you can see the output C. Okay, next is about slicing, that is it returns a part of the string, and in slicing specify the start index and the end index separated by a colon, and here you can see that this is the given string, that is A is equal to computer science, and in order to extract a part of the string, I am using here S equal to A is the string name, which is A. Within square brackets specify the start index from where you want to extract the part of the string. Okay, so here I am mentioning the start index as 9 and the end index as 12, and both are separated using a colon separator, and you can see as mentioned in this arrows, that is index 9 here means capital S and index 12 is E. Okay, and here 12 is not the character representing 12 is not extracted, so it displays SCI. Okay, and you can also use negative indexes to start the slice from the end of the string. Slicing will be done from the end of the string while using negative indexes. As you can see in this example, This is only using positive indexes. Here the same example is used, computer science, and here first print uses only the start index and no end index is mentioned. In that case, it will be starting from 9 and extracting the remaining portion of the string. Okay, so from S onwards it will extract fully till the end of the string, which is it will be displaying it as signs, as you can see in the output. And in the second print, the start index is not given, so if start index is not given, by default it will take the starting index as 0. Okay, that is the index representing the first letter in the string. So 0 and end index given is 3. 3 is not included for extraction, so it will 3 here represents, C represents 0, O is 1, M is 2, P is 3. Since we don't include the character representing the end index, the extracted string is com. Okay, as you can see in the output. And the last one uses both indices, that is start index as well as end index are mentioned. So it will be starting from 3 and up to 8 it will be extracting, which will be pewter is the string that is extracted from the given string. Okay, this is using slicing using negative indexing. Same string is used computer science, and here I have in the first print I have used two negative indexes, that is -8, start index is -8, end index is -1. -1 here represents the from the end E. The last character in the string represents -1 when using negative indexing. So E is small e here is -1. This is -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. This is -8. Okay, so it will begin from this position, that is space position, and it will be extracting up to -1. So since I mentioned here up to the character representing -1 is not included, so you can see in the output E is not printed. In the next one, we don't mention the end index, so by default it will be taking up to the last character in the string. And here the third print, start index is not given, so it by default it will be taken as 0, that is it will begin from the starting C to -8, which represents up to -8, so that is space. So all characters from C to R are printed, and you can see in the output that is computer. Next is to check whether a character or phrase exists in a string. You can use in or not in keywords. In the example, Sam is given as coronavirus disease, and we are here searching for the word or a substring virus. Okay, we check whether virus is in Sam. Sam is the variable name representing coronavirus disease, and so when you print virus present in Sam is true or not. Okay, as you can see in the output, virus present in coronavirus disease, yes, it is present, so it returns true. And next one is not in. When not in, virus not in coronavirus disease, for which it returns the output as false. So in and not in returns either true or false. If it is present, in the case of in, if the given string is present in the, that is substring is present in the string, then in that case it will return true, otherwise it will return false. And not in, when you use, if that given substring is not present in the string, then it will give the output as true. Okay. Next is string concatenation. String concatenation uses plus operator to combine two strings. And here the two strings given are str and str1, which is computer and science. When they are concatenated using plus operator, you can see the output produced is computer science with no spaces in between. Okay. Next, we'll see about the built-in methods that are used with strings. The first one is capitalize, which converts first letter to uppercase. The example we'll see in the next slide. Next is case fold, which converts the given string to lowercase. Center is to center the given string, and here you can have two parameters, length and character. Length here specifies the length of the returned string, and characters optional. This is the character to fill the missing space on each side. By default it is space. In this example, I have used a name equal to Swati in small letters, and I have used capitalize. So the first letter of Swati will be made as capital, as you can see in the output. The next line I use Swati in all capital letters, and when I use case fold on this string, it will convert the Swati in all capital letters to Swati in all small letters, as you see in the output. And the next is using center. Since I have given here 30, it will center the string based on this number. That is, since the name has 6 letters, the remaining 24 will be printed as spaces. That is, 12 spaces on the left of the string Swati and 12 spaces to the right of Swati. Okay, that is total. It will have 30 characters, including the spaces. Next is about the format method. It is used to combine string and number. Okay, use the format method to insert numbers into strings, and for this we use placeholder, which is placeholder here is 2 flower braces where the number is to be inserted in the string. Okay, wherever in the string you want to insert and the number, use this placeholder. Pass the variables representing numbers as arguments to format method, and you can see in the syntax given, format within brackets you specify the items. We'll see example for format. Here I have used 3 strings. One is the first one is a string Swati, second is a number 19, age, and places Kerala. And here to represent this variables or the place where this values are to be printed, I have used here placeholder. Okay, and the text is P is equal to she is placeholder, she is placeholder, years old, and lives in placeholder. Okay, in order to insert values into this placeholders, I use here format. So P, which is this variable P dot format, within bracket you specify what is to be printed in the first placeholder, name. So it will be printing it as she is Swati. In the next placeholder I want to print the age. So second parameter given is age, and the third placeholder should print the place. So I give the third parameter as place. As you can see in the output, it displays it as she is Swati, she is 19 years old and lives in Kerala. So this way you can insert numbers into strings. Numbers as well as other formatting can be done using format. And this is again format using index numbers. In the placeholders you can use the index numbers. If you don't specify the arguments or parameters in correct order, this index numbers will help you to place them properly. Again, I have used here three variables, name, age and place, and same p variable is used here, but instead of empty placeholders I have used here index placeholder, and here 2 represents the index representing name. According to this format method, the first argument is given the index 0, second argument is given the index 1, and the third argument is given the index 2. So here, since I want to print name and name is present here as third argument, so I give here the index as 2. In the next case, I want to print here age, so uh, age is present in the format method as first argument, which has the index as 0, so I give here 0. In the third case, place is in index place position 1, so I give here 1. Okay, if these indexes are not given, then it will be printing the result as she is 19, she is Kerala years old and lives in Swati. Okay, in order to print it correctly in the correct with correct meaning, we use here the index numbers. Next method is count. It returns the number of times a specified value appears in the string. And count uses here 3 parameters, value, start and end. Of this, start and end are optional. Okay, the only mandatory or required parameter is value, and the value here is the string to search for, and the start is optional as I mentioned before, and it is the position to start the search. By default it is 0, and end is also optional. The position to end the search is given here, and the default is end of the string. Okay, and next method is upper, which converts a string to uppercase, and lower, which converts a string to lowercase. We'll see examples for these 3 methods in the next slide. The string given here is she is a good girl, she likes ice creams. And the count method here gives the value she. So it searches for the string she in this given string and gives the number of times this occurs. She occurs in the given string. Okay, so that is 2. It appears twice in the given string, so it displays the output as 2. See the output section. And the next case is also, next print also uses count, but here I have included all the 3 parameters. The first one is the value to search for. The second is from where it is to be, which position you have to start the search, and 20 here represents where to end the search. Okay, so 5 here is, this is 0, S is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will begin search from this S and ends it at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Here it ends. The small s to capital S, the search should be done, but since within this specified range there is no string she, it will return the count as 0. Next is using uppercase. As you can see in the output, the given string has been converted completely to capital letters, and in the lowercase it converts it to all small letters. Next is swap case, swaps cases, that is lowercase becomes uppercase and uppercase becomes lowercase in this method, and title converts the first character of each word to uppercase, and strip characters, it removes any leading and trailing characters. Characters can be any character. um, the default is the space. Okay, if no characters are given, it will be taking it as spaces. It removes all leading and trailing spaces. Example is name is here given as Swati. Swap case, in this we have S as capital. When you swap case, you can see in the output uh, capital S has been made small, remaining letters are made capital. So that is it changes small letters to capital letters and capital letters to small letters. Next is str, string given as Python programming, and here I use the method title, which converts the first letter of each word in the string to capital. So Python P is already capital, whereas in programming P is not capital, which has been converted to capital in this method, using this method. Next is using strip. Strip, as I mentioned, you can give the characters to be stripped from the string, and here the given string is str1 is equal to dot 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 cbc dog dot and a space. Okay, first strip string, when I use here str1 dot strip of c dot b, that is it will strip c dot b from the string. Okay, but since we have a space after dot, and in this strip method I have not mentioned about the space, so it will not remove the space, I mean the characters mentioned within quotes here will not be removed from the end of the string, whereas it removes the same characters from the beginning of the string. So you can see it prints removing dots cbc in the front of dog is removed, and prints dog followed by 3 dots. Okay, and the second example uses both, that is the same string but with no space, where I mention here a space c dot b, so it removes all the specified characters. Spaces, if any, will be removed, dot also will be removed, c and b also are removed. Okay, next method is replace. It has 3 parameters. One is search string, replace string, and count. It will replace a substring with another substring. First it will search for the given string, that is the first parameter, and then that will be replaced with the replace string. And count here is optional, and it is a number specifying how many occurrences of the old value you want to replace. Default is all occurrences. The second method is split, which has 2 parameters which are optional. It splits the string at the specified separator. Whatever separator you give, based on that it will split the string. And if the separator is not given, the default is white space, and the result will be returned as a list. and the limit here specifies how many splits to do. Okay, if a limit is not specified, the default is all occurrences. We'll see example. This is an example using replace and split. Here the string given is she is a good girl, she likes ice creams, she lives in Kerala. And in first replace, I have used only two parameters, which is the search string as well as the replace string. That is replace she with he. So since I have not specified here the count, it will replace all the occurrences of she in the given string with he. So there are three she's here. All three she's are replaced with he, as you can see in the output. In the secondary replace, I have used here the count, and the count here specifies 2, which means only 2 occurrences of she has to be replaced with he. So only 2 she's are replaced here with he. The third she remains as such. And next is split. In the split, and the splitting is done based on dot character. So here there are 3 dots in this string. Since I have not mentioned the limit, all the occurrences of dot based on the all dots, it will be split. So there will be 3 substrings in the list, as you can see here in the output. First one, comma, second she likes ice creams, comma, the third substring. There are 3 substrings in this list. Whereas when I use split with the limit 1, it will split the string at the maximum 2. That is, there will be 2. If I give 1, it will be splitting it once. So there will be 2 substrings here. You can see in the output, she is a good girl is the first one, comma, the remaining string forms the second substring. Okay, so there will be 2 strings in the list when you use limit as 1. Next method is isalnum, which returns true if all characters in the string are alphanumeric, which means if the string has only alphabets and numbers, this method will return true. Next is alpha. It will return true if all characters in the string are alphabets. No special characters even. There should not be any spaces. Okay. Only in such case it will return the result as true. Is upper returns true if all characters are in the string are in uppercase, and is digit returns true if all characters in the string are digits. Is lower returns true if all characters in the string are in lowercase. We see examples for this. Here I have used 3 string variables str, str1 and str2, and there is also another str2. There are 2 str2s. And the first case we check is alpha. Is alpha is done for str2. Okay, since it has a space in between high all, it will return the result as false. Okay, and next is digit. This is done for str, which is the first one. So since it is a it comprises of this first string comprises of letters and special characters, it will return the result as false. There are no numbers there. The second digit uses str1. str1 here is 1 2 3. It consists of all numbers, so it will return the result as true. Similarly, we do for isalnum, which is it checks for alphabets and numbers. It is first performed on str, which contains apart from alphabets, it has a special character dot, so it will return the result as false. And the second is alnum is done on str2, which contains only alphabets. sorry, this str2 is done on this str2, that is 12 ABC. Since it comprises only of alphabets and numbers, it will return the result as true, as you can see in the output. And then str2 is lower, we'll check for the lower letters. This is done on str2, so it will return true since all the letters are in smaller case. And the next str2 is done, checks for is upper, since all the letters are in smaller case, this is upper will return false. That's all about string operations. Thank you.